my real estate license at 18, right? And when I got my real estate license, I started speaking at schools. I started not only speaking at schools, I started to get exposed to my broker, and I would go out.
This is the Leo Climaco podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Leo Climaco podcast. My guest today, I got to read this off because it's very important, is a serial entrepreneur and financial literacy expert who has revolutionized personal finance by creating innovative funding strategies for entrepreneurs. As the founder of Recession Proof, one of the largest financial literacy communities, he empowers individuals to take control of their financial future. His business empire includes a real estate investment and Barney Aviation, a private jet brokerage firm. Marcus is a leading force in financial education, helping countless entrepreneurs build wealth and create lasting legacies. Marcus, him 500 Barney. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Man, listen, I'm gonna have to clip that intro up and use it forever. Yeah, listen, that was amazing, though.
Hey, man, that's all you.
No, I appreciate it. How you doing?
Good, man. It is an honor to have you here. I've been following you for at least 5 years.
Okay.
I love what you do. I think I bought into your program a couple of years ago, learned so much, and I think people like you are very special because you chose to serve others. You chose to put yourself aside, clearly grow yourself, develop yourself, but for others, and I commend you for that.
No, I appreciate it. You know, and I wish that was like my goal, right? You know, it really didn't start out that way. I started out, I wanted to help 10 people because it was deals that I couldn't participate in, right? Like real estate deals and things like that. And I was like, okay, my businesses were failing. So I went and I started learning how to develop credit, how to get access to capital. And then I said, well, if I can get $400,000, if I can get 10 people to get $300,000 or $400,000, now we win.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons why I built it the way I built it. I did not expect it to go where it went. It's just after I got 10 people, you realize 2 or 3 of them were like, I'm okay with doing this. But then you get something just like, I just want to be able to get by.
Right.
I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I have other goals and plans.
Right.
And from there, it was over.
And it snowballed.
Yes, sir.
You know, people saw what you were doing. It's like, hey, help me, you know?
Yes.
My credit sucks. I need funding.
Yeah, and it just turned into something else.
How long have you been doing this now?
Since 2016. So we going on almost 10 years. Since 2016, I got started. Wow.
How did Recession Proof come to be? What was the birth of that?
It was one of the things, and it was a struggle, right, that most entrepreneurs go through.
Yeah.
Is you reach a pinnacle, you reach a point in business when you first get started, you going off of all wheel, you know, the drive, the grind, the hustle, and you get to a point where you hit a ceiling, and people automatically think, you know what, I'm gonna go do something else, or you know, I reached a pinnacle, I can't.
Right.
It's like, or growth systems, and it was I realized, and I always analyze this for other entrepreneurs, is that they're in the wrong position in their business. I was in the business of servicing people.
Right.
So I was directly providing financial services, and I figured, okay, at this point, I'm doing $100,000, $200,000 a year. And then I realized that my customer service started to slip because my brand started to grow. So the service that I provided started getting questionable because it wasn't as good as it was when I was only servicing 10, 15 people helping, you know, so now my brand grew. And then at that point, I had to change my business model, where a lot of entrepreneurs switch over and they go do something else, or they try to do multiple businesses. I just changed my business model from actually servicing the clients, helping them with their credit and doing things myself, to where I started doing it with them. Instead of doing done for you, I'll do a done with you.
Got it.
And that identified from with the done with you is that, okay, well, what else do they need? And that allowed my business to grow. And that's how Recession Proof started, because that was that done with you. And I'm like, you know what? If I get 10 people who can go out and do what I do, then we can go and boom. So I try to do it with them. And that's kind of created a mentorship. And from there, it just rolled into Recession Proof. And now, over 18,000 people in my community.
Wow.
Millions of people helped from online education for free. I got over 60 people who became millionaires. And so it's just like, it was
Man,
really
that's
a
incredible.
switch in my business model. And I challenge a lot of entrepreneurs that, they don't get enough juice out of the squeeze. Like, you didn't squeeze all the juice out of that lemon. You trying to get to the next one. Like, finish squeezing it. It's a lot of other opportunities that we don't see. And so that's the reason why so many of my students and the people I train become successful is because we figure out how to get everything out of what it is that we already do.
You completely maximize your time because you went from having to provide a service to teaching, to education, to let me teach you how to do it, and let's do it together.
Exactly.
That completely freed you up to expand and grow.
And then started to create other revenues within that same field of, from the conferences and the different events and doing different, experiences and just kind of just realistically grow to where I'm at today.
How does it feel to know that you've changed the lives of minimum 60 people by making them millionaires?
I teared up on live the other day. I was on live and I was just talking and one guy said something negative in the comments, like it's easy for you to say because you have money. And
I hate that line, bro.
Yeah, and I was like, so I told him to come on, and he came on the live, and he was just like, nah, what I meant was, and he kind of explained it, and we, I'm one of the ones that believe in conflict resolution and how to have a difference. It does not mean that we have to argue or disrespect one another to see things differently.
For sure.
And so we had a conversation, and then when it ended, they were saying, bring somebody else up. People kept saying, yo, tag. They was like, yo, bring him up. He came up, and when he came on the live, he said, you helped me you was on stage at ClickFunnels a few years ago. This year, I was on stage at ClickFunnels, and I've done over $45 million in my business.
Wow.
Listen, I've only done over $35 million in my business. He super succeeded what
That's
I
not
did.
only, bro. That's how.
Yeah, right.
Not only.
But to see him get on the live, and he was like, you taught me this back then. You gave me these one pieces of information, and that helped me scale my business.
That's incredible.
And so for him to say that he did over 45 million, and I don't have a direct relationship, hand-on relationship with him.
Just your influence. Just sharing your knowledge.
It made me emotional because sometimes when I got started, I didn't know the lives that would impact. I didn't know how many people I would be able to employ, how many people, the people I educate and teach will help employ, how it stimulates our economy and our community. It wasn't. So that's sometimes, bro, when you say it like 60 and things like that, it's like, I don't sometimes get to see it, the impact. But when he said it, I'm like, it really brought an emotion out of me. It was
like,
different.
bro, all jokes aside, like you've literally single-handedly have had an effect in the Black community and completely changing lives.
Yeah. Even, from the way a lot of things are done, I see a lot of people that I've been able to influence even on the way that we educate, right? And I tell people all the time is that I love seeing other people get into the education space. I'm not one of the people who look and say you shouldn't, or hey, I have a blueprint that works. If my blueprint can work for you exactly how I do it, exactly how I teach, the formats, you may have different information, but we figured out a system that works and helps people win. I encourage people to get into the coaching space. I want to help people get into the coaching space and be able to make money online. Yes, I've been able to make a lot of money online and impact, but if I can help you do the same thing, look how far my impact goes.
Yes, even further.
I want to see, so that's one of the good things about that I look at is that I want to see more people come into the education space because peer-to-peer education is the best. I want to be able to learn from your experiences. Your experiences are nothing like my experiences.
Right.
And there's going to be a tribe and a group of people who directly relate to your experiences from the things that you experience in business, but also growing up.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I always I really love about my impact is because I see so many leaders come out of my community. I don't go and say I want to be the biggest. I don't want to be the best. I don't want to be the end all be all. I just figured something out for us all to be able to have the impact. The win is the community. The legacy and the change that we get to see in our community, that's where the actual victory is at.
But I think that's why you are the best. Because you don't seek it.
Yeah.
Because your intentions are aligned with your value,
Yeah.
right? So therefore, it's natural for you. You're not chasing, you're attracting.
Yeah.
And that's clear. It's very clear, just your path and your life and how you live your life. I want to go back to the beginning. Tell me where you come from and your upbringing.
I come from Stockton, California. Stockton, California, was raised, lost my father at an early age, but I had a hell of a mother, right? I had a mother who set a great example of tenacity, of will, of drive, of grit, and introduced me to entrepreneurship, introduced me to success and what wealth looked like in the words, generational wealth. She introduced me to those things, and not only introduced it to me verbally, she introduced it to me by actions. I got to see her go work a job, get a degree, buy a house, build a house, right? Get the nice cars, raise me, deal with me as a child, right? Like, I'm the baby of the bunch.
Okay.
How
many siblings you got?
I got, altogether it's 5 of us.
Okay.
I'm the baby, right?
God bless your
I
mother.
got 4 older siblings. I'm the baby of the bunch. I'm the worst. I'm the one who gets in the most trouble. I'm the one who does the worst in school. I'm the one who every limit that can push a parent to.
Yeah.
Every stress and worry growing up, raising the children, it was me.
You had to fight for attention with 4 other people who were older than you.
Yeah. It wasn't I had the attention because I was the baby.
Right.
It was almost like, it was different for me because everybody, my mom babied me. Like, I'm the spoiled one, I'm the golden child but I was the youngest. And so many people, it was, they felt like my mom was one of the guys that guarded with me because she felt like other people were mad that I was the baby and like she treated me better.
Right.
And so people would try to mistreat me or the way that I act, right? My personality was naturally who I am. And so it was like, I don't know what it is, but people would have something against my son. So she was super overprotective of me. Or people wouldn't want me to come around because I was bad. I think it might have been I was bad. It probably was I was bad as a kid. People didn't want me around. They mistreat me. Mm-hmm.
Who was Marcus in high school?
Man, a hustler, right? It was bad. I didn't care for education as much as I should have. I didn't take it as serious.
I know what you mean. The system is a joke. It doesn't allow for entrepreneurs to have a place.
Yeah, but in hindsight, that makes sense. In the present, it didn't, because in the present, you're a 16-year-old kid who doesn't know entrepreneurship.
Correct.
You don't know what you're going into. You're being rebellious.
Right.
You're bucking on a system that's created and so happened that I got my real estate license at 18 and things like that, and it took me on a path exponentially, right? And so, but when I look back at high school at that kid, the good traits were I went to school to figure out how to make money. It was just like, because I would buy cars and flip cars in high school.
Okay.
So I had friends that we would buy cars and things like that. And so it was like, I would go to school, and I'm not the one that's going to say like everybody, right? And I'm going on record to say it. Everybody in high school every entrepreneur did not sell candy. Somebody's lying.
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody is lying.
I agree with
everybody sold candy in high school. Somebody's lying. I shot dice.
Okay.
I shot dice. I would shoot dice at school. I would go to school and I would gamble. I would shoot dice. I would play 21.
I love 21.
My mom would give me $5 a day for lunch money. I would go to school, and
that was your fund.
I would go to school, and it was third period. There was a teacher that would let us gamble in his class, so I never went to my third period science class. And I would go and gamble, and I would literally make money. I would make enough money, $500-$600, and go buy cars.
Excuse me?
At the car lot.
You make that much money off of $5?
She would give me $5 a day.
Right.
But then we would bet, and once you get 20, 30, 40 bucks, you can
it
go.
Grows.
And then in certain periods, like first period, we would just play 21. And as we playing blackjack, that was a little bit easier. The dice was faster, but 21, It was like, okay, you got enough hands. But I look back at that and I say I admire the will to go and want to make money and do it.
Yeah.
But I very much dislike how I had to discover it. Like, I wish I could have discovered it in a more structured manner. I wish I could have had somebody look over me and go, listen, these are the things that you're into, but these are the bad traits that you have with disobedience. And with discipline, you can do both, but I want to instill discipline in you so you understand how to correctly chase your dreams and go after things that you desire without, being dissatisfaction over here, because now you
Right.
have bad grades and there's certain subjects that you don't understand and you face getting expelled or not graduating. So there's a pro, but there was also a con that I did not see. And if I wasn't successful, I would not be celebrated as such
Right,
to
I
be
know what
able
you
to
mean.
overcome it.
Yeah.
So because I'm successful, it can say, well, look how you turned out. But I understand that I'm a unicorn. And so there's going to be thousands of kids who don't turn out like me, who lack that other side that I needed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And so they lack that. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so prideful to be able to teach people about entrepreneurship and things like that, and discipline, and be an example, because they teach it back to their children. It goes right back into the community. It goes right back into the house. And internally, some way, I hope that deters that kid from making a mistake that I made, because they may not end up being him 500.
Right. So you're 16 to 18, playing 21, shooting dice. When did the discipline come in? When did you flip that switch? When did that idea dawned upon you that, okay, we got to make a change?
I got my real estate license at 18, right? And when I got my real estate license, I started speaking at schools. I started not only speaking at schools, I started to get exposed to my broker, and I would go out and get public experiences. I tell people, experience is the number one teacher in life.
Yeah.
What you experience will teach you more than anything. And I would go out with my broker, and I grew up in impoverished neighborhoods, and in my family, my uncles, they come out of the ghetto. They come out of the hood, gang banging, selling drugs, getting drunk. That's what they knew. And one of my uncles he would be uncomfortable to talk to other races. He's like, yo, man, I'm uncomfortable talking to white people. And for a kid, I probably was in 7th grade, 8th grade when I heard that. And I was like, damn, I wonder if I'm uncomfortable, or why, right?
Yeah.
But it stuck with me. And I'm 18. This is 7th grade. I was 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. So you got to think, this is 5-6 years later.
Yep.
I get my real estate license, and I'm going out with my broker. He was in the military. His name was Reginald Sylvester. We're going out, and he would walk in the banks. He was very clean cut. He dressed well, nice physique, and he would go out and people would love him so much. He would be able to talk to people. And I remember we went to the bank, and I seen how he spoke and dealt with all the white people. And I said how they respected him and held him to such a high regard. And it wasn't a difference of people.
Right.
It was the same respect he maintained everywhere we went was the same respect that he held in every room.
What a great experience.
And I said, man, I can maintain the same level of respect I do anywhere I go. When I wear a suit, I see how I get treated, but I still can demand that when I put a t-shirt on or a polo on. I still can demand that same level of respect.
Right.
How I'm coming in the room speaking, how I'm displaying my confidence.
Right.
And that was like a pivotal moment for me. I went on to meet different bishops and things like that, and I started to see how educated and successful men were able to carry themselves in a confidence that they displayed in every room. And, that's where it allowed me to get to where I'm at now.
I love how people can both teach us how to be and how not to be.
Yes.
Right? Because you had 2 examples, 2 life lessons.
Yes.
Right? One taught you how questioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Helped you question life and if that's the case. And the other one showed you, no, it can be different. Right? You can relate to everybody. That really shouldn't matter. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great to have mentors, these people in our lives that are able to guide us and help us and teach us and show us the way.
It's you cannot in life, you won't be successful without a mentor. There's no way you will be successful. There's no way you will be wealthy. There's no way you will build wealth without a mentor.
I agree.
It does not matter if you do it directly or indirectly. You will not be successful without a mentor. And when I say indirectly or directly, meaning knowingly or unknowingly,
right?
You may follow the path that somebody else has laid out. That's almost like a silent mentor.
Like this guy on stage.
Exactly. You may watch and go, hey, you gave me these tools, but I see how you operate.
Yeah.
That changes everything. And so that's one of the things that I look at and I tell people all the time. I had somebody ask me to invest in a company with them. Amazing app. Amazing. The problem that it solved, needed. And I asked him, I said, well, who's helping you? Because he wanted to take it to market. He had already developed it, had already built it. I said, well, who's helped you develop it and make and understand it and take it to market? He was like, nobody. I'm really an entrepreneur and I'm just really, using what I got and from what I've been able to do. And I said, listen, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I love this. But there's nothing in my body, nothing in my soul, and in my brain that will allow me to put $1 in your hand if you don't have somebody mentoring you who has navigated this space successfully before. And he was like, well, I'm pretty sure. I said, no, I can give you advertising advice, but you have a tech company.
Right.
If you don't understand marketing advertisement from somebody who has done a Uber, who has done different tech companies from experience and have relationships and connections to help you expedite the process, you'll never win. It's going to take you too long. At the rate that technology grows, by the time you figure out how to properly navigate and get this out and the people you need to know, the technology won't be valuable.
And you'll probably lose money.
We all would.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to redo it. We're back to square one with what we understand in the relationships that we have.
Right.
And it's hard for people who have not experienced that to understand that. Mm-hmm. I've understood it because I said, listen.
You've been there.
A lady asked me, she said, I have a funnel cake company and I'm looking to partner. The funnel cakes are amazing. Neo came over, he tried them. Everybody, they love the funnel cakes. I would love you. I said, it's not really something I would be great at. And she was like, no, you don't understand. You got to taste these funnel cakes. And I said, oh, you think that because I have a brand and a following and I'm known that my impact will impact your business.
Right.
I said, you're willing to give me a part of your company? And I probably would tank it. I don't have a food industry background. I don't have relationships for this in this industry. I said, now look, I got a tech software company, a software that we came out with credit repair. Within 45 days, I took it to $180,000 a month reoccurring. I have a credit and finance impact.
Right.
I have relationships over people who have influence over this industry. I don't have that over the food industry. I would have to go recreate myself, recreate relationships to where people will actually believe and want to follow and deal with me in this lane aspect.
Right.
You're going to give your business to somebody because they have a following. That's going to hurt it more than help it. That's where mentorship and things come into place because I understand I've done this industry. When you have a mentor, he's going to tell you, hey, I have relationships to do this, or
right.
This is how you need to operate and move.
And you saved her so much money by giving her that one advice.
Yes, get with somebody. Don't take somebody who has a good following. Take somebody who has a strong following and reputation in the industry that you need them to serve in.
It's got to make sense. It's got to fit.
Yes. So often we just look at a following or somebody with impact or money and think that, hey, we can do business together or they'll be good for my business. And 9 times out of 10, they'll end up hurting it.
Yeah. They may give you a quick spike, but it won't be consistent.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
When was Him 500 born? Where did that come from?
Man, it was June 17th, 1988.
I love that answer.
Listen, I tell people
that's a great answer.
I've always been me, right? I'm him. Like the 500 was Fortune 500 when I started figuring out about business. But I've always carried the same energy. I've always been who I am today. And I tell people that you have to embrace who you are.
Yeah.
I can look back in 6th grade. I got a watch on, I got a chain on, I got a matching outfit on, and I can follow it my whole life. Is that I've wore watches, I've liked cars. These are things that I was naturally into. In high school, I sold cars. These are things that I'm naturally into.
Right.
I learned how to wear suits and seen the respect. So I can put a suit on, or I can put on T-shirts and whatever. But I'm okay 100% with being me, and I know that I can speak properly. I can actually deliver a message. I can get my intellect out. I can have impact. I can help people. I can love people. I can understand and deal with conflict resolution. I know I'm a great person at my core, no matter what room or anywhere I walk into, no matter how I'm dressed. I know who I am. I've been that way my whole life. And it's like, so as I grow and Him 500 takes over the name, Marcus has always been Marcus. He's always been Him 500. Mm-hmm.
I love that answer. That's a great answer because I don't think most people would answer it that way. They would have given me, maybe 5 years ago I became this person. No.
Yeah.
I've always been him, bro.
Listen, always. It's my whole life. Like, anybody that's know me, they'll say, yo, that's his energy. Like, he likes to laugh and joke, but if you talk to him about something serious, like, I'm gonna think rational and I'm about execution. But I laugh and I play a lot. Like, I like to laugh, I like to play, I talk trash, a little not arrogant, it's confident. Yeah, that word.
Tell me a couple of things that you've learned by being wealthy that you didn't know previously that opened up your eyes to what life really is about.
A couple of things. I'll tell you one thing is the only reason I'm wealthy is because I bought a $250,000 home and what it did to me. I took a step and bought a home. And when we bought that home, I committed to 30 years.
How old were you?
25. I committed to 30 years. 26. It's 26. I committed to 30 years, right? You got to understand, I've been on a journey of chasing money since 15, 16. I sold programs at the 49ers camp as an 8-year-old, and I won.
Wow.
Like, I sold the most programs. I out-hustled everybody, right? I've been on this journey years. I bought this house for $250,000. I was used to signing a year lease. I remember walking away from the table, and my wife was so happy. Everybody was saying congratulations, and I was nervous. I just committed to 30 years. Whoa, wait a minute. I have ups and downs. Wait, I can't have any more ups and downs now.
Yeah.
I just committed to 30 years. I don't get to move or be like, you know what, I owe y'all some money. I'm out of here. I just committed to 30 years. But when I walked in that house, how I felt, how good I felt to own it and have something that was mine. Nobody ever used my toilet before. This was my house. Then I had my daughter, and she came home to a house that was in our last name. I appreciated that so much. It made me work. And I appreciate it, and I worked so hard to maintain it and never lose it. I am where I am now. I didn't get wealthy because I wanted a $5 million home that I live in now.
Right.
I got wealthy because I never wanted to lose the $250,000 home that I bought, that I appreciated, that I loved, that I was proud of. And so one thing that I realized as I become more wealthy is that you have to appreciate what you have, or you won't be able to grasp anything else. It won't mean anything. It won't be built on a solid foundation.
Right.
You'll be built on a foundation and on a base of unappreciation and a lack of understanding. And I understood what I had, what I was committed to, but I loved it. And so when I look back now, I still own that home. In 2 weeks, I got to go do a walkthrough. I'm excited to go through and look at it. And I'm like, maybe I need to go change the carpet. What do I need to do for the tenant? Because that's my foundation. And it was appreciation. And so one of the things I look back on is the appreciation for what you have. If you have an apartment, love it. If you have a 1-bedroom, put a bedroom set in there. I remember having to get in, switching from crates to actually buying a dresser. It was like I started to appreciate what I have. You have a car, it may not be the best car, but still go get it washed and cleaned in detail. My car ain't nothing, so I don't wash it and clean. Like I see people operating that, and I was like, you gotta appreciate. The second thing is the biggest realization is how to deal with money and family. How to deal with success in relationships.
That's
because
huge.
I've sacrificed and lost a lot of people that I love to death, love to life, right? And but we've now had severed relationships and actions that are unforgivable. And
All because of money.
it's because of money, but I'm one of the ones who I always say it's my fault.
Okay.
And so what I realized is that I was helping people or attempting to help people in a way without properly diagnosing or educating or paying attention. I didn't have a mentor on that.
Got it.
I didn't ask for guidance on how to deal with this. I asked for guidance on how to make money, but I never went and talked to nobody. I'm like, yo, how do you deal with family? What is the things that you should deal with people feeling like entitled and not wrongfully entitled? I've been loving you your whole life. You don't love me? Like, we've been trying to get financially right, and you now financially right. Like, just give me the money.
Right.
And you go, it's not the money that's gonna help you. It's therapy. Mm-hmm. It's different signs of healing. It's health.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't. And so
hear
what
that.
I realize is, I say, I'll look back and say, I done gave over $1 million into my family. And then I realize and go, well, I put the money in the wrong place. I put the money in your hands when I should have probably put the money in a vehicle that could have gave me a 4 to 7% return every month and gave you that money. Now my money wouldn't have lost, and the money that you lost and that you did whatever you did, it wouldn't have hurt me as bad.
Right. It was interest.
I wouldn't have been as upset.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, you helped them wrong, but then also you thought that money would fix everything. And I learned that when you get money and you start to make money, you realize what it takes. And you realize what it takes, and you realize that it's not as hard as you think. It's as hard as you think.
Right.
That's it. And that's the key factor. And it goes, you can do it, and I'm an example. I teach people how to make money. That became a point where it's like, you know what? How I deal with money and deal with wealth, because one of the things is like, yo, you got to have somebody to love you. You got to have, friends. You have to have family. And it's nothing like the ones that you grew up with. You will meet new people and have better relationships. Don't think that. And I don't look back and be like, oh, I had to develop new relationships. Like, my new relationships are better than the ones I had.
Of course.
And I enjoy them much more.
New frequency.
Totally, right? But I still miss certain things. And I go, man, I wish I would have known. I wish I could have navigated it better. It does not mean they would need more access to me than they have now.
Right.
I just wish that we did not have those issues, and that they could be in a better position with dealing with me.
Right. Mm-hmm. I've made that same mistake, not to $1 million, a lot less. But I'm from Brazil.
Okay.
I was born in Brazil. And I help out a lot of my family down there.
Yeah.
One of my cousins asked me for $15,000, which in Brazil, it's about 70,000 of their money.
Okay.
It's a lot of money.
Yes.
I said, okay, I'll give it to you in 3 months, 555. Mm-hmm. He was going to open up a business, better his life. I bought it. Okay.
Yeah.
I go to find out he threw a lavish party for his daughter for her birthday and blew most of the money and then asked me for more.
and you know that's I've been through it,
Yeah.
right? And when I look at those situations, a person would feel like, you know what, I don't want my children to feel what I'm going through.
Right.
And not realizing that if you let them just feel instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, if you just let them feel a little bit of the sacrifice, it'll be much greater later.
Exactly.
That's one of the biggest, I always tell people, and I preach to people, listen, you can't put sugar on shit. It's temporary. It's temporary. It's not forever. And so if you don't realize,
The smell will come back eventually.
it will come back. And at that first taste, it may be sweet, but it's going to get very bitter very quick. And you will have more regret than
Facts.
you ever did. And it's like, yo, you know what? Actually walk through the process. Actually make the sacrifice and say, I don't ever want you to feel this sacrifice again, and I don't ever want them to feel it. So you know what? I'm going to correct what put them in this position. I'm going to correct what allowed me to get in this position.
Yeah.
Now we get better. Not, okay, I'm going to go make and ask somebody to help me. If you help me, you have the resources to generate what you generated.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have those resources. I still don't have the mentality. I still don't have the understanding or the willpower to continuously do it. And I don't want to have a temporary fix.
Right.
Teach me how to fix. Teach me how to operate. Teach me how to think.
Correct.
Teach me how to react. Maybe I'm reacting wrong. Take time and be patient with me. If I react wrong and I miscalculate a step in business and I want to go into business, what did I do wrong in my last? I go and I look at so many people's life and I ask them, well, how much money do you spend every month? And they go about, and I say, listen, no. Well, but anything after but is bullshit. I need to know exactly what it is that you do. If you cannot calculate it, you cannot improve it. If you can't track it, you can't improve it. If it's not tracked, you cannot maintain and understand what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right.
Data is so important.
But we don't have it on a simple thing as you work and you know your income is calculated, and you mean to tell me you can't tell me exactly where your money goes. At that foundational point right there, we have a problem. And if I can't instill and tell you that you need to be able to in control, there's softwares out there, apps out there. Rocket Money is an easy one to use.
Yes.
And it helps you see exactly. I said, it's simple. And I said, if you can't do that and be disciplined to do that, then you don't deserve anything else.
Yeah.
The no parties and the no things like this that's happening, then you don't deserve it. And unfortunately, people look at it and be like, well, what about the kids? The kids are only going to blame the parent. I have never seen a kid go, you know what? I hate my mom's friend because she was wealthy. My mom's friend didn't pay our rent. We used to live with no lights on. It's never that. It's always falls on the parent. That parent might try to throw salt on the other person. Just know as the parent, it's going to be your fault.
Yeah, 100%.
Your kids are going to hate you for your lack of discipline. They're going to hate you for the things that you did not instill and teach them.
Oh, for sure.
Experiences that you did not give them, because they're going to have to go out in the world and see other people's experiences. At 21 years old, I met a friend who had never been to a funeral. Wow. He took me to a wedding. And you want to know what friend I was? I was his friend that he met who had never been to a wedding.
Wow.
But had been to over 7 funerals.
Wow. What a contrast.
At that point, I look at my parents and go, damn, what environment that I grew up in. I ain't going to look and say, yo, my mom had friends that didn't. No. What environment did I grow up in? And I did not know it was environments like this.
You thought that was normal, a funeral.
Bro, I've been going to funerals since I was 8.
Wow.
Like, thought it was normal. I've seen people I've known, used to seeing around my neighborhood get killed and hearing about the funerals or going to funerals. And it was just like, you think it's normal.
Right.
Until I realized I'm 21 years old, 22, never been to a wedding. They knew how to act, how to dress, what to wear, what to expect, going to buy gifts. I'm like, buying gifts? Like, what do you buy for somebody for? It's
a whole
new
culture.
It is. It was totally different. Mm-hmm.
Going back to your financial point, in January, I took my 12 bank statements from 2024. I uploaded to ChatGPT, and I told it to break it down for me and analyze it for me and create an entire budget for 2025 based on 2024. and I broke it down by necessities, entertainment, food, right? It was 2 seconds. I literally uploaded the data, gave it a few prompts, and it broke the entire thing down for me.
Why is that? So you know what's significant to that when I hear you say that, right? Is did you come from money?
No.
So that means
Very, very poor.
That means that your family, just as well as my family, they missed the opportunity to invest
Oh, yes.
in the Coca-Colas, the Pepsis, in the stock market.
100%.
All right. They missed the Ubers. They missed the computer. I don't know how fluent your parents were on teaching you how to use a computer, having a computer in the home, learn about online and internet marketing when it first came about, right? I look at that and I realize and go, I see how many people were successful when things change. There's people sitting here now watching and go, well, how does he upload it to ChatGPT? And it's going, damn, you can hear a formula and then you won't go figure the rest of the research out on your own.
Right.
You're on the phone and you'll sit and you'll comment. You literally will ask a comment, well, how do you upload them to ChatGPT, or what app is that? There is no question to ask at that point. My only question is if worst case, you know how to use Google. If you don't know how to use ChatGPT yet, you are prone on how to use Google.
Right.
You now go and you Google every single question that you have, and whatever you can't find, you start to question and answer because the opportunity is there. If people do not learn how to utilize AI,
you will be left behind.
You will be left behind, and once again, your next generation will come about and go,
oh, yeah.
Well, why didn't you? You didn't know about? You were sitting right there when you just sat there.
You did nothing?
You did nothing.
You didn't play with it? You didn't explore? Didn't watch one YouTube video?
Listen, people said, I see people say, man, you guys got rich during the pandemic. You guys, all you pandemic ballers, you got rich during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's called recession proof, bro.
No, listen, bro. It was raining money. You didn't get none of it? You didn't get wet a little bit? It's raining money and you didn't get none. Mm-hmm. Who's the idiot? Mm-hmm. You didn't get none of the money? You made nothing?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you sat there and it's opportunities out there, but I'm not going to take it.
Bro, you were home. We were all stuck at home.
And you got nothing. And it's like, yo, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You should be ashamed of yourself to not have figured out how to develop a brand, to not figure out how to get online and start to create something, to learn how to network, to do something. You did nothing throughout the pandemic.
Not even a dance on TikTok.
You couldn't even go viral on TikTok. Like, dude, did you at least go viral one time for something? And it's like you picked up no skill sets, you learned nothing, you grew nothing at all. Like, how does that happen? So now what? These are things where I realistically question and judge people.
Yeah.
So that's where we got to get to with this. It's like, yo, like, how do you take the next level?
Yeah. We're going to have a generation of people that are going to look back 10, 15 years from now and say, man, I missed that AI boat. I should have been on that boat. Mm-hmm. I had the chance to. I was too lazy. It was too hard. It was too complicated. I couldn't figure out the prompts, and I gave up.
And that's the part where it's going like, yo, all you had to do was do a prompt. And you couldn't get that right.
Bro, you couldn't communicate. It's learning to talk.
And so, but I'm one of the ones, I'm always solution-based. So I will tell you guys, because I'm identifying this to you, is that you start to look in places where you're comfortable. People can now look in places where they're comfortable if they need guidance. You don't have to go and always pay for a mentor.
Right.
TikTok, Instagram will give you short answers to problems and things that you think about. Facebook groups or YouTube will give you long form explanations on things that you see and don't understand. Yes. So they may say something about you're going to go look at ChatGPT, but they're going to tell you about Web3. They're going to tell you about other things, right? And all of these different AI tools that's out there, well, YouTube will give you long form explanations. Once you get those long form explanations, you can go to Facebook groups. And when you go to Facebook groups, in those Facebook groups, what will happen is those Facebook groups will give you resources to people who already are experienced on using it, and you can communicate and ask real-time questions. That's the simplest. Yes, and you also then you have forums, which get a little bit more difficult. Then you have Reddit, right? And so there's different forms and things that you can go and search on, but that's a simple formula, a simple way to find out, identify, learn, do more research on YouTube, and then go into the groups. And then you'll find all kind of ebooks and courses and things that you can purchase. But the basic foundation to solve any problem that you have is right there. And that's free, and it's where you're comfortable at. Should be comfortable at.
Facebook groups are so underrated.
Yes.
They're so good. They have so many groups on anything that you could think of.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And it's just, you have to first identify, right? You have to first identify what you're looking for, to look at what groups you're looking for. And so those are the key things that I tell people all the time. It's like, do it like that.
Okay, let's go a little bit into finance/politics, because the buzzword right now is recession.
Yep.
That is the buzzword right now.
Yes.
And I feel like 2023, 2024, they kind of redefined what recession means. I feel like they moved the goalposts, right? If I'm not mistaken, it used to mean 2 months of negative downturn, basically.
2 quarters.
2 quarters, exactly. Excuse me, yes. And I think now it's 1 quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they moved the
Or they
goalpost.
added one. But what happens is that what we're going to look at is that, as you can see, right? You've seen with Trump. Damn, this is rough. I don't know how to say this, but people went to sleep one day, one thing, and the next day woke up something else.
Yeah.
People went to sleep one day saying, I'm transgender, I'm this. And the next day you woke up, no, you're a man. or you a woman. Ain't nothing else. They are coming in and having the ability to change things on a fly.
Isn't that crazy? It's been
Like-
45 days. He's done so much.
I'm sitting over here looking, I'm going, yo, we're thinking about going up to Tampa and coming across the Gulf of America. And I said, they are changing things on a drop of a dime. The one thing that I don't like to get into with too deep is with the politics and things. But one thing that I do like is that I say, okay, you know what? We have to be in control of ourselves.
Yes.
That's the end all be all. We have to be in control of ourselves and realize that if I don't control something, then it's my fault. We have the ability to control everything in our life that matters to us. And so for me, I look at that as going, okay, look, you see they can change whatever, but they can't change your ability to provide for your family.
No.
And your tenacity and knowledge, right? You can take the money away, but my education will always help me bring it back. My relationships and things up or down, if I develop great relationships, I maintain who I am, and I'm on a consistent a pathway of growth, I'll always grow and be able to adapt to any situation that comes about. That's what recession proof is about. It's about being able to adapt to any economic downturn or upturn, being able to adapt, to cut back or turn up.
Right.
Analyze and understand what side of the gate to play on and how to play. Things are going to constantly change. It's never going to be the same. 2024 was nothing like 2023.
No.
23 was nothing like 22. 23, a lot of people in 23 was like, yo, let's just get it over with. And then here comes 24, and we got Cat Williams, right? But when you look at it, 21 was nothing like 22 and 23. It was like, yo, this was so everything changes. The only thing that, with me, when I look at it, is that I have control over myself and how I deal with these changes. Some people have control and some people don't. That's the biggest thing. Do you have control over yourself? And if things get bad, where you can downshift and you can downgrade and you can go, you know what, let me just scale down. Things get good, I'm ready in a position to scale up. Some people are only in position to scale down. All I can do is lose stuff. But if opportunities come, I'm not mentally prepared to grow. And so that's one thing I look at when it comes to it, is like with Trump and everything that's going on with the tariffs and He just pulled back from Mexico and reversed it because, they just got their asses handed to him in the stock market. Just
Yes, he did.
Bloodbath. And but I say bad you do something and it has a negative recourse. But what if it had a positive? We don't know what can happen if we do nothing to try to make a change.
Right.
That's the only thing I look at is like we have to attempt to make a change. If we don't attempt to make a change, then we won't ever see anything happen.
And I think we went so far one way that there's gonna be some collateral damage to bring it back to the middle.
Yes.
We were too far gone.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think we are slowly bringing ourselves back. To your point about betting on yourself and being honest about yourself and valuing yourself, I want to go into your weight journey.
Okay.
And I commend you for that. My wife is currently going through a similar process. She had 2 babies, and her weight fluctuated. She recently got surgery, and she's lost over 90 pounds in like 7 months. So she's finally getting back to a place where she was prior to us getting married. I know how hard that is, and I know it's not easy. How was that for you? What made you bet on yourself and make that change and become who you are today?
So did she go through the surgery?
She went through surgery in August, yeah.
Okay. So going through it, honestly, getting to a point where you almost lose your life. Like that was reality of it, is that I got to a point where I almost lost my life. And you have to make a change, right? And no matter which way you choose to go about it, you have to make the change. For me, when I look back at it, I say I learned more on that journey. Like it seems like, oh man, it's cool, or it'll be an easier. Because I sent 2 people to go do it before I went, and it was like, oh, you look great, but I have to deal with it.
Right.
And then you deal with, bro. I wasn't who I wasn't the same person. I had to get back into being me, because everything, my hormones, my chemical imbalance, like you're not the same person. And so many things changed, from my looks to how I felt, my energy, everything changes, and I'm trying to find a balance. And it wasn't a thing where it was just like, oh yeah, you just think the same, you wake up, you don't. Brain fall crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you deal with that come with it. And I'm pretty sure you see it. It's just like, you change a lot. The person changes a lot.
100%.
I would tell you.
It's like a death and rebirth.
It will take her 2 years to get back to a place where she starts to understand and can be able to have control over herself and her body. And so, but for me on that journey, I look at it, I'm one of the ones, I'll tell you, like, only reason I got rich because I was fat. If I wasn't fat, I wouldn't have got rich.
Why do you say that?
Because this guy is more intimidating. And the way that I speak now, people think like this is like something new. And it's like, it's new because of the vessel that it comes out of. The old vessel did not feel that way because of perception. The other guy was loving, teddy bear, he's fat. It's not threatening, it is what it is, right? And so I laugh.
I agree. It's 2 different people.
2 total different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the thing where now my energy is matched differently and perceived differently because of who I am. I wouldn't have had the success I did if I wasn't that guy. And I understand that. But that's one of the things I tell people. You have to control yourself, know yourself, and understand who you are. If you don't, you'll never win. But so now I do understand where I'm at now. I have to move and operate in a different capacity. And that capacity is being blunt, but also being a little bit more blunt about caring and being courteous and being, showing love and being kind.
Yes.
And actually exposing that more.
It will teach you compassion.
My compassion level is a lot heavier. So that's one of the biggest things. But honestly, you can go in so much when it comes to the weight with my kids. being able to go down slides and
Yes.
play with them. Like, it's so many things. Like, you know, it's embarrassing when you can't get on a roller coaster. And you be like, no, daddy don't ride roller coasters. No, daddy can't ride roller coasters. And it's like, I ain't scared of nothing. But I'm not, I got to act like I'm scared of that because I can't get on. Or if I get on, I'm going to be feared. I'm going to die in here.
Right.
So it's just, you know, it's so many things that change.
How much weight did you lose?
I went from 370 to now I'm at 220.
Wow.
But I went all the way down to 190.
Okay.
And I had to figure out how to gain weight.
You lost like 2 people worth of
Yeah.
weight.
Facts. Yeah, it was dramatic. And it's just like, it's crazy because like I go through my closet, like this is something I had already, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna remake it, get it cut down. And when we did it, yo, listen to me. I got a video. See, remember I told you I got content and stuff I have put out?
Yes.
Yo, I put this suit on and it was crazy how it looked. And to the point to where I can stand in a leg.
Wow.
And then we cut
That's crazy.
it. Yeah. Nah, it's different.
Yeah, man, it really is. I think once you go through a journey like that, you're a completely different person.
Yes.
You come out completely different. And I think it helps every other part of your life, right? It's almost like a domino effect.
Yeah.
You knocked over that first domino. Now that gives you momentum for everything else.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's a rolling effect, but you have to adjust. It's not like, oh yeah, it's just gonna come easy. No.
Yeah.
I don't-
Nothing's easy.
I don't wear the same, like the way I have to. A lot of things change on how I perceive things, how I have to deal with things. And so it's not like, okay, you got your health in order, it's just gonna come easy. No, you have to learn how to be this person. You have to learn how to present this person. You've learned how to present this person. You've learned how to operate in these environments. You have to learn how to eat. You have to learn how to go out and how to order off of menus and do different things, what restaurants you can go to, what you don't.
Right.
It's a lot of things that you then have to learn and fight with on a daily basis. And that most people won't, you don't see it, and that knowing like, okay, you think that, oh, I'm gonna lose weight and it's just gonna be like kind of the same. It's not. It's not. It's like, you know, you start to dislike, like I hate the smell of like deep fried foods. For some reason, I used to hate avocados. Now I eat avocados with salt on them. And it's just like, I don't know why. I don't know, something about the texture. It's like chicken.
Right.
I can eat chicken thighs. I only like chicken thighs. I hate other chicken. I can't like eat chicken breasts, and I can only eat chicken thighs. And it's just like, you know, things change, and you have to
Right.
learn how to deal with a
Why
whole
limit
new person.
yourself?
Yeah, you got to deal with a whole new person.
And I love that you took on the challenge because that just helps your brand even more, right?
Yes.
Because you're showing your clients that you're willing to go through it. You're willing to put your feet to the fire and really make a change where it's required in your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, we'll go through the sacrifices for finances, right? We all know what life we want to live, but most of the time we just don't know what we have to do to get there. And so it's like, okay, I've set the example financially. Now we go into the thing where I started to analyze where my health and my physical was. And it's like, okay, well, you got to start introducing this because you got people out here who can't get right financially because physically, internally, health-wise,
Yeah.
it's other things that they got to deal with and bigger battles that they have to face. And if they're not facing them now, they're going to face them. And you have an obligation if you say, I want to see you win and I want to see you overcome things. It's like, don't leave it out. Don't mean I
Right.
have to tackle it head on as like I'm the main person to, this is what I do now. But it needs to be included, and that needs to be a conversation that you bring awareness to as well.
What is your relationship with God?
So I'm a religious person. I mean, I'm a believer. I'm not the most religious to say I'm Christian. And the reason why is because my mother's a Christian. I was raised in a Christian church, but my father's a Muslim.
Okay.
And so I got introduced to Islam. I did study on it, and I'm a firm believer that, you know, there is a higher power. But I'm not the one who is the most, you know, I'm finding my spiritual connection now. I've been going to church more and developing a better spiritual side because that's something that I need to grow on. That is one place in one part of my life where I'm not gonna say like, oh, I got it figured out. This is this. Like I've always knew it was a higher power.
Right.
I just did not lean into one and really tap into my spirituality and spiritual self. But I am now. And so now that's one of my main, like on my phone, on my screensaver, there's a Bible verse. And because this is where I want to focus and I want to get stronger within my spiritual relationship. So I'm growing in my spiritual side. I'm in a growing development stage of finding that leadership and finding counsel and finding guidance to help me guide me through that.
What do you want your children to remember about you?
I want them to remember the feeling that I gave. I want them because, see, I asked my daughter something about like, yo, I asked them a list of questions at the end of the year about the year, things like that, and their favorite person and why, right? And my baby said, my youngest daughter, she said you, because you always make me feel confident, and when there's ever a problem, I know that you'll help me solve it. And I don't want it to be a thing where I have to do it. I want when you think about your dad, I want that feeling of I can overcome things. I can solve things. Whether my dad already told me I could do this, or I need a feeling. I don't want you to, you'll remember the moments that we've had, but longer than that, I want you to always embrace the feeling of confidence. I want you to embrace the feeling of love. I want you to embrace the feeling of the being self-sufficient, that who my dad made me is being a good person, being kind, understanding I can overcome anything, I can solve any problem. I want them to feel that and remember that feeling more than anything.
There was a study that was done that said that the number one thing that a kid needs from their dad is to know that their dad has their back and is there for them.
Mm-hmm. No matter what going on in the world, like, that's the one thing that, is that I instill in my children, is that I don't care what you do wrong. I care how you handle it. You're going to make mistakes. It's inevitable. You're going to do things. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get things wrong. I don't care.
Right.
I care how you react. Can you be honest about your mistake? Can you be honest and tell me what you did wrong and why? And what was it that made you do it?
Right.
Let's just get the understanding of it. So now we can correct where your misstep happened and what you misunderstood. Because I don't think you did it on purpose to be bad. I don't think you did it on purpose to be rebellious. You felt the way. It's either your emotions, you had misinformation, or you really made an honest mistake some way, somehow. But let's just figure out what it was. Or you interpreted something wrong, or you were angry.
Right.
Whatever it was, and I'm okay with any of them. You was angry, and you didn't care. You wanted to, I'm okay with it. Well, what allowed us to get to that point where you lost control, where you let anger dictate your actions? Whatever it is, your dad is here to help you navigate that. I'm not going to punish you off the back for it. I don't punish you for something unless it becomes repetitive after. And it's like, hey, you don't want to, you know that you're not, and you're fully aware. Now there's recourse. Now we have actions that have to be taken.
Right.
But first, if we can do this, and most of the time with my kids, we don't really deal with that. And that's the beautiful part. Like, I love my girls because they're so receptive. Like, they listen and they understand, and they listen to understand what I say, and we're able to communicate.
How do you want the world to remember you?
That's a good one. I just want them to know that I left it better than I found it. Just put it in a place where it was better than what it was when I got here. To be a contribution to growth, to be a contribution to positivity, to be a contribution to my community, and people that come out of the environment that I come out of, to where it's like nobody should go through exactly what I went through if I already went through it. So something should have changed. Some of the wrongs or some of the things that was done and that you had to experience should no longer exist because you went through it.
Right.
And if the world could remember me by that and can look back and say, you know what? Majority of people start to operate like that, we'll get so much better so faster.
Facts. That's so true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who are lost and need a lot of help.
Yeah.
You know, and people like you open doors, shine lights, and lead the way.
And that's realistically the key and the things that we now got to tackle.
Yeah. You know the Avengers, right? Thor, Iron Man.
Not all the way. I'm not super. I know some of them. Yes,
right,
yes.
Okay. This right here is Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
And in order to lift it, you got to be worthy in the movie, right? I think we're all worthy, but I think a lot of us don't see it and we forget about it. I'm going to pass this on to you. Do me a favor. Hold this, please. And look at that camera.
Which one?
That one right there.
The main one?
No, right here. This one right here.
Okay.
And just tell me, what does worthiness and value mean to you? And what would you say to someone who lacks worthiness and value?
Worthiness and value to me is somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes in every aspect of their life, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual. At some point, you become worthy when you realize your highest level of ignorance, right? When you realize that the level that you've reached there's another level of ignorance that you have to unlock. I've realized along the lines of my life that I have new levels of stupid every time I reach a new level of success. And me realizing that helps me become great. And you are not worthy if you ever feel or believe that you know everything, you have the answer to everything, and that you're not ignorant, and that you don't have a level of stupid to unlock and to identify in yourself. You should always be on the road to unlock a new level of stupid and say, you know what, I did not know this. There are so many things that I did not know, and I'm constantly on a battle and a journey to find that. If you do not discover that and you do not find that, then I deem you unworthy.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Heartfelt. Marcus, you're an incredible person, man.
I appreciate you.
You really are, bro. Like you changed lives. You are continuously evolving yourself. You are someone who is not afraid to take the challenge. You are someone who will lead, be out there in the front, leading your community and your tribe and your crew. And man, I wish you all the best. I thank you for being the person that you are. You've had a huge influence on me and my career. Just seeing you do it, watching how you interact, watching you put events together, really helped me grow into myself and become who I am today. So for that, I thank you, bro. I really do.
I appreciate it, boss. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Guys, what can I say, man? This is someone that chose to take on every challenge in life and chose to grow and help others grow. He's made 60 millionaires. He's impacted families for generations, changed the entire trajectory of communities and families because he chose to rise and be better. He chose to work on himself and become the best version of himself every single day. Please go follow Marcus. Please tap in to Recession Proof. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time.